Hello and welcome to episode 0 of season 3. I'm your host, Swamp Swimmer. Sorry for the technical difficulties. It took us a minute to get online there. We were using some new systems and a little bit of a technical glitch. But welcome. We're all excited for you to be here. Couple brief introductory housekeeping stuff. In this season, we are using Pathfinder 2nd Edition, which we're very excited to use. It's a new system for all of us, including me, the GM. So I am relying on you, the chat. If you see problems that I'm doing anything incorrectly, please let me know. Hit me up in the chat. We're all learning here. And this is a direct response to the whole Wizards of the Coast OGL drama that has been happening. For right now, it's a temporary thing. We're trying out Pathfinder. I know Wizards of the Coast walked back what they were doing. The OGL is now what the original one was, and the SDR is in Creative Commons. So who knows what will be next, but for right now, it's Pathfinder 2nd Edition. We're playing Pathfinder, but the world is the Ninth Age. If you're unfamiliar, Ninth Age is a rank and flank war game that I play all the time and love very much, and that my YouTube channel is dedicated to. If you are interested in the Ninth Age, please click the link in the description below. That'll take you directly to the website. It is a community-built free game, so all the rules are free, and you can use any models you want to play the game. It's an awesome game. So with that, thank you everyone for being here. I'm stoked to do this. Please hit that like. Please hit that subscribe on YouTube. Please hit that follow on Twitch. And let's have a good time. So let's get right to the intro. This is right now just a 0 episode. We're going to go over the characters really quick, talk about a little bit of mechanics. This is not going to last maybe an hour, maybe not. I don't know. And also we're doing this to kick the tires on this stream and make sure everything's working. And we're learning right now. Maybe not everything's working, but let's. So the first thing I want to talk about, some difference between D&D 5e and Pathfinder 2e is that previously we had inspiration in Dungeons and Dragons. There is a similar mechanic in Pathfinder 5e called hero points, I'm sorry. You guys all start with 1 automatically. What hero points do is they give you a one-time reroll on any roll. But the point is, it's not advantage, so you can't roll both dice and choose the highest. It's whatever the second roll happens, you keep. So it's a little more risky. But also what hero points do is they can stabilize you if you go into death or dying. And the way I want to move forward with this is we're going to have to keep an eye on the chat. But anyone who hits that subscribe button or hits that follow button on Twitch, I guess no one's watching on Twitch right now, but anyone who hits that subscribe button, you get to give the characters a hero point. That's the way I want to move forward. Does that sound like a good idea?
Nice. You gotta really cater to the crowd here.
Given how rare inspiration
fan
was
service
in the last couple seasons, that sounds great.
So Jeff is asking if we're using any
good.
house rules. We are not. We are doing out of the box Pathfinder.
Well,
It may look like we're doing house rules, but that's just because we just don't know what we're doing.
yeah.
With one exception, which we'll get to when we get to Octavia's character, which we'll get there. Don't you worry. But the point is, we're mixing it with Ninth Age, and Ninth Age is just a skin. I really love the lore and the background, the world of the Ninth Age. So I'm kind of picking the pieces out of Pathfinder and just pasting it onto the rule system of Pathfinder, if that makes sense. But why are we dilly-dallying? Let's just get into the characters. And I thought first up would be this new character named Jedediah Fletcher.
Oh no! Right on the.
Oh wait,
block
no, hold
here
on.
Already.
Stop! Wait, stop! I completely forgot to do our traditional thing. What you drinking?
Oh yeah.
How could
waiting
I
for that.
forget? How could I forget? So the wife and I are doing a dry February, which people do dry Januaries, but we're doing a dry February. So I'm going to be doing non-alcoholic beverages for the next few episodes. But this evening, I am drinking Trader Joe's sparkling pineapple juice. If you go to your local Trader Joe's, this stuff is wonderful. It's just pineapple juice with sparkling in it. I love it.
Good choice.
Sounds like that would be good with some liquor in it.
It would be even better with some liquor in it.
A little Malibu. Coconut rum in there and get a nice pina colada, sparkling pina colada.
Tequila. Rum is disgusting.
Let's start with the order. Well, let's start with Jedediah. What are you drinking? Can I call you Jed for short?
That works. I got the Rogue Honey Kolsch.
Oh yeah, that
A
sounds
little bit
good.
sweet, real tasty. Yum.
Let's see, Carlin, what you drinking?
I have the 801 Pilsner. Might have seen it in the intro video or in many episodes before. Let's get the first season 3.
Oh, yeah.
So
So
crisp,
satisfying.
Delightful.
so crisp. Let's see here.
Brought to you by 801.
Come on, sponsors. Come on, beer sponsor. We're waiting for
I
you.
know, right?
Yeah, you into brewing company. Hook it up, man.
Bell Gux, what you drinking?
I got ginger beer. More. Yeah. I think so. Cheers.
Good stuff.
I do love ginger beer.
Also
that-
good with liquor.
And lastly, Octavia, what you got to drink?
So I am drinking Fieldworks Aloha Vibes.
Oh,
Quite good.
quite good. Fieldworks is a classic brewery. I love them there. Okay, back to where we were. Jed. Just give me skim over the basics of ancestry, class, whatever you want to talk about in this first screen here.
All right. So, I mean, this is kind of a new thing for everyone, I feel like, with the new character options with Pathfinder 2 weeks. So, I chose one out of the game, the Advanced Player's Guide, the Investigator, and I felt it kind of married up nicely with the Ninth Age and the Empire of Sonstal. So that's my background. I'm going to play as maybe an aspiring Inquisitor, working with the the Church, the Order of Suna, and has basically kind of been dispatched into the world at large to track down evil, chaos, enemies of the state, that kind of thing. I'm not sure what kind of power level we're going to get to with this campaign, so I don't know if I'm going to be like quite at the level of Inquisitor that the Ninth Age game has. That's kind of more of like a high-end character, so maybe
Yeah.
someone on the path to that is kind of my goal, I think. But yeah, that's kind of my angle, I think. My background is kind of just a bit of a manhunter, a dog the bounty hunter kind of character who's maybe trying to find more legitimacy by aligning themselves with the Order of Suna and the Church of Suna and being more of an agent in that respect instead of just a wild card roadman who's got a bit of a legal edge to him.
I like it. I like that a lot. That's a nice segue into your class actions that you get as an investigator. Some of these are pretty interesting. Do you want to comment on these, or do you want me to talk about them real quick?
You can start if you want. I can try to fill up any gaps.
So one thing you can do is called no cause for alarm, which is like an area calming effect, right? You can take the frightened condition off of people, and they're temporary immune for 1 hour. I think that's a pretty cool thing. But the more interesting thing is the devise a stratagem. Is you can before you attack, you can look at an enemy and basically like formulate what you're going to do to them, and roll your attack dice or any dice before it happens. So it's kind of like basically like the Sherlock Holmes movie with Robert Downey Jr., where he like does the mind palace and thinks of what he's going to do before he does it and knows if it's successful or not. I think that's a super cool action that you get with this.
Yeah, that was one of the kind of unique novel ones that really drew me to the class.
And then lastly, a pointed question. I haven't looked at this one. Basically, you can get the truth out of people. Yeah, and they have to take a will DC. Interesting. Moving on to your inventory real quick, just to see what you have. You got a flintlock pistol and leather armor, and that's it?
Yeah, I mean the pistol was such an iconic kind of weapon for the Inquisitor and Witch Hunter and like Mordheim and Warhammer, and of course the Ninth Age. I felt like I had to take that as my weapon of choice. And they really don't have a whole lot of armor options for the Investigator. They're pretty much stuck with light armor. So leather is kind of what I've got to work with so far. Hopefully maybe something more charming will drop in my lap as we go along.
Let's see, the class features we talked about. You do also have a strategic strike. Oh, this is what you use after you devise a stratagem to deal more damage, which is interesting.
Yeah, yeah, it's a bit of a take on the I won't say it's like the backstab of a rogue, but it's got kind of that same angle where you can kind of time your attack or get a bonus for your attack by just waiting a bit longer. And I thought that was kind of suited the character being more of someone who kind of observes, takes notes, has a history of maybe sizing up opponents and uses that knowledge later on when they face something similar, again, instead of just being someone who's more like a tank character where they just charge into battle. So I think that it all kind of makes a nice theme that I really like with this class.
Yeah. And then you've got a couple skills here that are like more kind of like role play skills, like the on the case. And if you're an investigative adventurer, you're like always trying to solve a case, and you can pursue leads and clue your fellow adventurers in on your case. Kind of really some cool mechanics. I'm really excited for your character.
Yeah, should be fun.
All right, Jed, welcome to season 3. Next up, this is the special case where we are using some additional rules, is Octavia. Octavia, would you like to introduce yourself real quick?
Sure. So I'm a Pegasus rogue.
You heard it right here. Octavia is a Pegasus, which I think is super cool.
If you have any questions about how that came about, a wizard did it. I haven't decided what one.
Oh, don't give away too much of the story yet. That will be for episode 1. But I'm excited. I've got a bunch of great ideas. But I just want to shout out. We're using the game system from something called Ponyfinder, which is a third-party extension to Pathfinder. And it's also built into the VTT that we're using, which is Foundry. It's all set up for us. It's wonderful. I want to thank all the people at Foundry and the people at Ponyfinder who put this all together. It's super cool.
I believe it's Silver Games is the company.
Silver Games. Shout out to Silver Games.
Silver Light. I think they may have changed, but yeah, it's something like that. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about your feats. I love all of the pony always come with this first feat, which is fingerless, which is basically mechanically in the game you don't have two hands. Like all the other characters have two hands to put something else. You have one hand, and it's your mouth.
Yep.
I freaking love it. Love it. This is gonna be great.
Yeah. It should produce some interesting things.
Let's see here. Your class features, you're a thief, which makes it easier to steal things, obviously.
Yep.
You also went with the sneak attack and surprise attack, so it's much easier to sneak up on people, get the flat-footed condition on your opponent, and just deal more damage. I mean, there's not much more to say than that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also like this in your ancestry feat. Can you go over Cloud Kicker?
Okay, yeah. So basically the way Pegasi work in the Pony Finder setting is that they actually can like walk on clouds. They're solid objects for them. They can pass through them at will as if they were normal clouds, but they have the ability to physically interact with them. And so any sort of like fog, so like a poison fog or even just standard fog, I can just get rid of by kicking it.
I'm definitely gonna have to work in some cloud/fog into this campaign for sure.
Yep.
For sure.
So it's pretty funny.
And then you got the class feat nimble dodge. It's just a defensive mechanism, gives you +2 circumstance bonus to your AC when someone attacks you. It's a reaction, which kind of works the same way as in D&D 5e.
Yep.
A forager makes it you can survive on grass in the middle of nowhere, basically, is the point of forager.
For the most part, yeah. I think it does actually specify that you can like find food for like a certain number of people. For yourself and 4 additional creatures.
Oh, okay. So you can help
So-
sustain.
Yeah.
And then lastly, pickpocket, which makes you better at stealing things from people without them knowing.
Nobody expects the horse-looking thing to steal from you.
Lastly, you just talk about your inventory. You've got kind of the usual stuff, a dagger and a short sword and throwing knives. We did do a little bit of home brewing here that I think technically the throwing knife, like he couldn't throw knives out of his mouth. That'd be a little ridiculous. So we're saying his Pegasus wings, I'm sorry, her Pegasus wings, can throw knives, but at a less distance than they normally can be thrown.
Yeah.
I also want to point out your mouth kit, which is basically a lockpicking kit, but you operate it with your mouth. And I love how it says in here that humans can technically learn how to use this with their mouth and pick a lock with their mouth.
Yeah. Well, it actually it's specifically like, so typically a lockpick set would be 2-handed, and this would allow them to do it 1-handed.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it does say usually the mouth. A humanoid can learn to use it in one hand if they want. Okay, I much more enjoy the idea of a human just sticking this in their mouth and trying to pick a lock with their mouth. I much more enjoy that.
That would be hilarious, but I think it would be designed more for a horse-shaped mouth.
A horse, like a horse bit or something like that.
Yeah. So.
Sweet. Okay, well, welcome to Season 3, Octavia. Next up, Belgux, the Goblin Wizard. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
All right. I've Belgux, I've been you want a whole background story or
No. Just
the short version?
well, if you want to. When we get into season one.
I guess you ran into me. So like if you saw me, it's a little short. Well, like 20 4 foot tall, 70 pounds or 5 stone. Not old, but you can smell me before you see me. They're not really rags or anything. The clothes are in good condition. They just haven't been cleaned, and that's not really important to me. And I mean, it could just be from the stuff I'm eating, because I can eat garbage and sustain myself. It's just fuel.
Excellent. A goblin wizard. Let's see here. Feats. Let's talk about, you chose evocation as your arcane school. This is one note. You automatically get Force Bolt as a spell, and you get one additional learned spell, which can be anything from the evocation path. So just keep that in mind. Arcane Thesis. This is new. I didn't look at this before. Well, you produce the thesis topics. You gain the special benefit of, depending on the topic of your thesis research, the arcane thesis topics presented in both the book below your.
Yeah, I think I might have messed that one up, because I was like, oh, there's a familiar, and I thought I chose something different. So we can come back to that at a later point.
Fair enough.
And of course, goblins, the ancestry feat, burn it. I mean, how can I not? That's just awesome.
But also with your class feat, you chose this, which I think is really cool, Arcane Bond. You can take a bonded magical, you place some of your magic power in a bonded item. Each day when you prepare the spell, you can designate a single item you own as your bonded item. This is typically an item associated with spellcasting, such as wizard, blah, 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 blah. And you gain the drain bonded item. You can basically take the magic out of this item and then use it to cast a spell again. You get to get another spell slot.
Bonded spell slot thing. So yeah, I have an unusual one, not your typical bonded item, but very precious to me. Maybe people will learn about it later.
Let's see here. Burn it. You're fascinated. Fire fascinates you. Your spells and alchemical items that deal fire damage gain a status bonus of damage equal to half the spell level. Your spell's level. So you basically do more fire damage.
Yep. Burn, be burn. Yep.
And also, yep, you said it before, you have a familiar, which you can tell you can tell us right now who your familiar is if you want or not. Or we can save it for episode 1.
Let's say for episode 1.
Okay.
We'll sort out details.
And also this brings us to our first spellcasting character. You do prepared spells, and this is a lesson for you, Belgux, also. So this is your spellcasting tab. These are your spell slots. And then if you click this spell preparation button here at the top, if it would work. Well, of course it's not working. Well,
yeah, I thought I loaded up some spells last night, but
yep. So basically, in the spell preparation spot, that's where you can load in all of the spells that you learned, and because you get 5 cantrips when you start and 2 level 1 spells plus the one you already know, Arcane Bolt, I think it is, and then you take those in this window when you click spell preparation and you drag it into your spell slots here. Now, what makes this difference from D&D 5e is you can't choose any spell to cast in this slot. If you prepare one slot with 1 level 1 spell and you cast it, that is gone. You can't cast that one again on your second slot. So if you know a spell that you probably want to cast twice in a counter, you need to prepare it twice.
Yeah, I want a bit of a challenge. This is the first, I guess, full caster I've done.
Yeah.
And right, and just even within 5e, you need to be pretty precise in what you're choosing. Unlike a cleric, where it's like you just get anything all the time. And so now even more restriction, where it's like I use that slot, so yep, can't use that again. That's going to have to take quite a bit more planning, or just suboptimal play, one or the other.
Because prepared spells are one type of spells you can do in this game, and it happens that the 2 casters in this group both use prepared spells. So it's a lot of thought about what spells you prepare for each day, and you can only be prepared once a day, which is interesting. And that's all I got. Let's move on to our last. Welcome to season 3, Belgux.
Well, I will have to comment on Wario on to his only weakness is soap, so we'll have to tie that in at some point.
Oh, Peter King says he subscribed. Thank you so much. You get to give a hero point for episode 1. You know, I'm going to do it as a pool, I think. We're going to have a pool of hero points. So when someone subscribes, any of the characters can use it. It's a little more flexible, but it's more fun that way. And next up is Carlin. Carlin, go and introduce yourself.
Okay. Carlin is a human cleric with the War Priest. What's that called? A domain? Doctrine.
Doctrine, yeah.
So, a little bit fighty, a little bit healy magic, pretty heavy armor, or at least that's what I'm hoping. He's a warrior priest of Suna from the 9th Age background. He is a miner, or was a miner by trade, from the small town of Wilhelmshaven. For
Yes,
anybody who
we have heard
saw
that before.
Season 1.5.
Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent. Let's go into your
sort
feats.
of along the same lines as Jedediah. He's kind of working his way towards, like prelate status. But at this point, just kind of a priest who likes to fight.
Fair enough. Yep, you have the War Priest Doctrine, which gives you a lot of stuff. And you get the Shield Block feat, which is a reaction. And Deadly Simplicity is pretty easy. When you're using the weapon of your deity, which is a longsword, I think, you get your damage dice just goes up to the next dice size. So I think it's a D8 normally. It's going to go up to a D10.
Yep. Pretty sweet.
Pretty sweet. Oops, Doctrine, War Priest. Let's see here. Divine Font. You chose... I forgot the divine person you chose, the deity, but...
I actually deleted it. It was just basically the closest one I could find as an analogy to Suna, but, it doesn't really matter as far as I know.
Oh man, I went
and
through
I
and like...
probably wouldn't use any of those spells, so...
I heard you went through and like studied your character sheets this morning, and you guys are changing everything. You're killing me. Let's see here. We'll get you
minute bunch.
We'll get to your spells in a second. Let's see, your natural skill. Your ingenuity allows you to learn a wide range of skills. You gain the trained proficiency into, okay, you've already did that. Terrain expertise. You gain a +1 circumstance bonus to survival checks in that terrain. Interesting.
I chose mountain.
And bonus feats. You need the healers too. You basically become a better healer, which I think you're going to be the healer for the group. Maybe even the tank also.
We'll see how I do at doing both.
And then healing hands, when you use the heal spell, it just becomes better. And that's something to mention. Like, healing's a little more important, I think, in Pathfinder 5e, because long rests. I'm sorry, Pathfinder 2e, because long rests don't heal you up to full health anymore. Long rests just give you basically I forgot the calculation, but it's like your Constitution modifier health back. So that's interesting.
Oh. Yeah.
And
a lot of points in Constitution.
so I set up your magic based upon the other deity you had, but like So this is how this screen should look when you basically each day go to your spell preparation thing, which it's not working, which damn it. And then you can drag in the spells into this area. Cantrips are like they were in Dungeons and Dragons. You can cast them as many times as you want. But just spell slots above that. And I think you got a third first level spell slot because of your deity, so that might change also.
Which wasn't one that I was probably going to use. That third level, or that third spell slot, is honestly probably just going to be another heal.
Okay. All right, so there it is. Welcome to Season 3, Carlin.
Thank you.
So, the question is, guys, do you want me to clue you in on the setting of Season 3?
Yes.
Well, of
Yes,
course.
please.
Sure. Yeah.
Season 3 will take part in a land that has been decimated by overproduction, overuse of the land. And it's been scarred by dark magic. Ages ago, an individual tried to gain contact with the spirits and creatures across the Vale and scarred this land and turned the northern region into the Inferno. Season 3 will be taking place in the land of the Infernal Dwarves,
Ooh.
otherwise known as
Alright.
the Dwarves of the East, the kind of cousins or brethren of the Dwarven holds, who have rejected magic, but the Infernal Dwarves embrace it and are in fact scarred by the natural disaster that happened, which created the Inferno, and in turn created the wastelands above it, where the warriors of the dark gods live.
I like it. That's cool.
Interesting.
I got a question about lore.
Mm-hmm.
Regarding I know goblins and regular dwarves don't get along so good, but infernal dwarves, is there?
Yes,
What's
in
the story
fact,
between that
they
relationship?
have a very much a symbiotic relationship. Goblins that are from this area and that work with the infernal dwarves are called the hobgoblins, and
are generally slaves.
slaves or vassals, whatever you want to call it. But there
The
are
prisoners with jobs.
and you make a good point. The land of the infernal dwarves, their population was decimated by the events of the creation of the Inferno. So it's been said that basically in their lands, slaves and vassals, for every one infernal dwarf, there are 10 slaves in this land.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, that's
And
usually how
what-
it goes, right?
Yeah. Oh, can you tell us what? Was that someone found out later? But what races tend to make up the majority of the slave population?
It's
Just a little
everyone.
bit of everything.
It's everyone.
Yeah, everyone.
Humans, orcs and goblins, beastmen from the surrounding area. Anyone that they can subjugate, they do.
All right.
Yes, I'm excited. Definitely Carlin and Jed will be showing up together. They have been sent to this land for some reason we'll get to in a moment. And also I want to say the culture of the Infernal Doors is very much based upon contracts, about entering contracts and fulfilling contracts and how that dictates people act. And matter of fact, all of you are under a contract when you start this campaign. And we'll get into that in episode 1, but we'll get there.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I have for this beginning episode. Sorry for the technical difficulties at the beginning. I think we have it settled. We might just be streaming to YouTube and say screw Twitch.
Sorry, Twitch.
I mean, the people we care about are on YouTube, so I mean that's good enough for me.
And the ones on Twitch can't hear you say that anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
At least we're gonna probably stick with YouTube until I can maybe afford a better gaming PC, and then we might change things. But until that day, this is
Just
what...
buy a used mining rig.
Yeah,
right?
true.
Get a dime a dozen.
I have an idea on something we could do in the interim, but we can discuss that later.
Okay. I think the last thing I want to say about the setting is there's many forms of and modes of transportation that are taken throughout the world, the Ninth Age. But the main form of transportation in the Infernal Dwarf lands is the Steel Road.
yeah,
Steel Road.
Is I guess lore break or mood breaking here a little bit. It's a primitive Old West train system, but kind of on steroids.
Oh.
Giant mechanical trains.
All right, that's cool.
Are,
Will there
are-
be a
are we
train
talking,
robbery?
Are we talking Wild West levels of mechanical? Like, are we gonna run
Oh,
into
yeah.
giant mechanical spiders?
I don't know about a mechanical spider, but that level of mechanical craziness, steampunkiness, is what will happen.
steampunk only. Well, I guess it's demon punk
Yeah, it's kind of demon punk. Yeah.
Demon.
because
That's better.
a lot of them
much
are
better.
like ensouled with a demon
Oh wow,
in the
Oh,
Ninth
that's
Age
fun.
lore.
Yeah, because
that's pretty dope.
back before the Inferno was created, dwarves of the West, the Dwarven holds, were essentially the same as the dwarves of the East, the Infernal dwarves. And then after they reached too far and caused this giant rift in the veil, they were all changed. Most of them died, and they were all changed and touched by demons. And that's what they are now. So that's basically the lore I'm going to go into it, but we will we'll get to more into it in episode 1. Is there anything else you guys like to discuss? Anything about the rule system? Big shout out to Foundry VTT. This is the first time we're using this VTT, and I'm the only one who's really delved pretty deeply into it, but it's freaking awesome. It's going to be pretty cool. I'm really excited of the kind of the look of the tabletop version that we're going to be playing.
Yeah, just be gentle with us as we fumble through the new rule set. I think Shu will probably be having to reference things here and there in the first couple episodes.
Yeah. As,
So it's
We'll
TPK.
go.
for the past 2 weeks, I've been just hardcore studying the rule system, and as you can see, Rob's got the thickness of that rule book is insane.
That is a no joke book.
Yeah, show us.
It's
Yeah,
a thickie.
There it is.
Actually, how's that look on?
Looks pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's very cut in. I'll need to-
Yeah.
we need-
You
we
can
need
see
to
the
figure that
spine though. That's
I,
good.
I can adjust it.
That book has some girth, as we say.
That is not a regular size D20 either. That's a large D20. So don't take that for scale.
They do sell a pocket version, but that's not it.
And you know what? I was thinking about this. This is another good way to distribute hero points. If anyone from the chat catches me fumbling rules and corrects me,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
distributed hero point. I like that.
If they're in favor of the players.
Right. Right.
Yeah, just don't point it out if it's bad for us. We'd rather have a misinterpreted rule in our favor than another hero point, for the record.
Okay,
You can
let's see.
reroll all you want.
Point it out after we've already accomplished what the rule allowed us to do that it wouldn't normally.
Yes, when we live stream, there's no going back.
Yeah, it looks like me streaming music at the same time is what probably is putting my computer over the edge. So I'm gonna probably download some music and play it while we play. That's probably the best way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So, any parting words? Anything else? Thank you, Warrior Womp. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. I'm sorry. Who was the last person? Jeff.
King.
Peter. Thank you for joining us. I really hope you guys tune in a week from now, and we can really get into the nuts and bolts of the gaming system and also of this campaign. I'm really excited to GM it. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm no longer a DM, guys. I am a GM, a game master.
Great.
Okay.
Any
Cool.
Sweet. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you, players. We'll dive into it next week.
Later.
All right.
See y'all later.